Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 3 versus 3 on Odon, and in this one I'm going to be playing the 21st Panzer Division. I'm going to be joined by 352nd deck and a 12th SS Panzer deck. I'm going to be playing against a couple of 6th Airborne battle groups and the 2nd Infantry battle group on the opposing team. Just going to switch this to my point of view and I'm going to talk through strategy. So, since I wasn't playing with anybody I knew and I wasn't on voice communications with anyone, this was a random 3 versus 3 that I joined, I was assigned the middle of the map after both of my teammates chose the left and right. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to have a go at something that was requested, and that was pushing through in the middle of the map. Now I've been asked to do this mainly because people have been finding that those playing in the middle of the map generally play quite defensively, and I actually thought that that was quite true. Generally people think that you should just push on the flanks, which I guess makes sense, but occasionally surely you should spearhead through the middle if you can. In this case, I think this is a map where you can definitely surprise your opponents by doing so, and therefore it was the best candidate for me to give it a go. Because I find on Odon, specifically, people don't expect you to actually push across the bridges, because the bridges are actually death traps. But if you can do it at the beginning of the game and find yourself sort of a beachhead across those bridges, then you can really take full advantage of that and push into enemy territory. Let's have a look at the unit composition. I am of course using the 21st Panzer, so this is going to be my classic 3 tank strategy that I've actually started to use quite a lot with this deck. That's one Befehl Panzer 35 alongside 2 normal Befehl or normal Panzer 35s. Then I've got a half-track infantry plus a command infantry combo with supporting 259s. Over on the right side, another infantry combo with the 2 259s, and basically the idea of these guys was to hold positions on their own, and it's much more cost efficient to buy in these 259s than it is one infantry squad with a half track, and that's why I was choosing to bring in the 259s. If we just speed it up, we can get this game underway. Took us a little while to get this one going. See here on this right side, a lot of fire support equipment for Big Boy. Going to be using some anti-tank guns, got plenty of machine guns, plus some mortars there. Lacking a little bit of infantry. Over on the left side, a lot of these Opel Blitzes with infantry, supported by a mortar half-track and the SPW 222s with recon. Let's just slow this down as I get to my position. And what I'm going to do is advance with the Elfkläder across the river. Just drop them off there so they could get a head start and run across alongside the Panzer Grenführer. And then I'm going to move around with all my tanks, just cross the bridges straight away and see how much ground I can make. Meanwhile, my 259s are just spreading out into locations where they have good line of sight, and my Panzergrenz and Panzergrenführer are going to be capturing the centre forest here. So my 222 here, the 3-star one, is going to be catching on to the 30 cal infantry squad and absolutely demolishing that, whilst my Panzers come down the road. I don't want my recon squad to be hit by this mortar, so I'm going to quickly run that away. And I've got this infantry squad following up, but these half-tracks are incredibly slow. So just moving ahead now with my Befehl Panzer and other Panzer tanks. I spotted an infantry squad on the left side earlier, so moving forwards is Elfkläder. What's going to happen is I'm actually going to spot a Marauders squad here, and that Marauder squad misses a shot onto the Panzer 35. That was incredibly lucky, and then we just demolish it since it was revealed. The 222, once it gets on target, can just crush infantry squads. In this case, a little bit of a mistake. I didn't realise that the 222 was blocked by line of sight of this tree, so it wasn't actually firing onto this Ranger support squad, which ended up pinning down my Panzer Grenadiers. I do realise eventually, but it's a bit too late because the Panzer Grenadiers have already taken damage, and ideally I would have destroyed the infantry squad a lot sooner. But But either way, we get rid of them quite convincingly. And I've managed to secure this beachhead I was on about, getting across this bridge. AT gun reveals its position. 222 though, getting onto that immediately with its 3-star. Gonna crush that AT gun, and even an AT ambush at this point is not going to make a difference. Bringing up a 233 for its exceptional optics, and that's going to help me spot enemy positions. And I've got my elf player over to the left side here. These guys need to be brought up to watch out on my left flank as I continue to move forwards. Bumped into an M1 gun here. That's actually going to bail out one of my Panzer 35s. I finally get a shot onto one of those, so one of my tanks is down. Taking out another AT gun there, and as you can see the front line moving forwards, I can just continuously run my Panzergrens up and take loads of ground. Already our team's running the +2 due to my 259 on this right side poking a hole in the front line here. My infantry has actually managed to get halfway across the river as well. And over on the left side, my teammate's holding nicely. So I've made a lot of ground in this centre. My teammate on the right still contested at this town, but overall we are running the +2 thanks to 58% territory. My 233 is on target of the M1 gun and is going to be able to engage that whilst the M1 gun goes for the bailed out tank. And boom, 2 shots with the 233. Perfect unit for countering enemy anti-tank. T30 comes up and actually hits my 222 from range. The 222 wouldn't be able to engage because it was 200 meters short. I'm going to be trying to move up the Panzer 35 into a position where it can ambush the T30 should it come up the road. Also, the Panzer Grenadier is now getting into position, and I'm bringing up another 2 222s with more recon so that I can see exactly what's going on. And also these 222s, once they're 3 stars, are incredibly good fire support. So really nice double whammy there. Not only do you get the awesome fire support vehicle, but the recon capability. And recon is extremely important at this point, because I need to work out where I can push and where I need to avoid and so on and so forth. The T30 there, I'm just going to try and rush it with my Panzer 35s. If I can get onto target, should be able to take it out. It's got pretty low armor. But what's going to happen here is the T30 is going to hit me hard, and I also get side shot by this tank, or this AT gun. This is actually an M5 gun with 14 AP power. So there goes one of my tanks, and my 233 with the transmission damage is soon going to follow as the second shot lands. It's a really nice ambush from this gun here. Now I've got to try and figure out a way that I can get rid of that without any mortars. I move my 259 over to the right side. It reveals a 30 caliber machine gun with help of the Elf Platter. The 222 and the Panzer 35 get on target. We're going to pin that down and get rid of that. Spotted the 2 mortars here earlier, so the idea that I had was I would use the 222 alongside the 259 to not only kill the mortars, but also get a shot onto the AT gun here. Obviously I would need to reveal the AT gun beforehand before doing that. So I'm going to eventually try and get my Elfkläder over here to get into the tree line. This T30 is still having to go at the Panzer 35. I'm trying to retreat that as best I can. Meanwhile, I'm bringing up another command infantry alongside 2 more infantry squads just to get solid control of this town. My 222 is going to open up onto one of the mortars and quickly take that out. However, my recon squad was deleted as it tried to move across the open, and that's going to leave me with a bit of a predicament, because without the recon squad and not being able to spot the AT gun, I'm not going to be able to attack it properly. And in this case, what ends up happening is I try to move the 259 forwards, the AT gun just breaks the tracks of the 259, and I'm forced to just abandon that attack. It even forces my 222 to fall back in this case, and the T30 still having to go at my Panzer 35. So another vehicle of mine going down. So I've kind of pushed to the maximum of my capacity at the moment. I tried to push a little bit further, take out the T-30 before it could do too much damage, but it was not to be, as this AT gun on the right was perfectly placed to cut off my attack. Now my 222 is also in trouble against this M7, so I need to get away from that, and the Ranger Marauders here are going to discover my Panzergrenadier. And well, since the Ranger Marauder is in cover, well, they're not only going to kill off my Panzergrenadier quite easily, but also my tank is just falling back towards them, and yeah, didn't end particularly well. So what I need to do at this point is get my 222 saved by this one. The T-30 was actually moved forwards and gets taken out by my 222, and well, with the 222 getting on target onto the Ranger Marauders, they're going to go down as well. My infantry has now arrived, the idea here being that I can solidify my position, because infantry is a lot harder to take out once it gets into hard cover than vehicles, for example. I still have two 222s available, so that's okay, and I've got an extra Panzer 35 here. It was just unfortunate that a lot of my pushes got caught out by certain units. So for example, the T-30, you know, killing off my Aufklärer as it came over to the right. Otherwise, if my Aufklärer got there, then my fire support vehicles would have easily been able to deal with the AT gun. In this case, 222 actually breaks the tracks of the M7, which was really nice. But I'm not going to continue that engagement, since the M7 is going to very much kill off my tank, or my 222 if I let it. I also don't want these Panzer guns to be targeted by the M7, so I'm going to take them out the tree line. And over here I've managed to push forward some of my Panzer Grens, but they're going to be engaged upon by these Ranger supports in the chateau. So just going to run away from that and make sure that my Panzer Grenadiers can't be engaged. Going to use my 222s to continue to destroy infantry that pushes towards me. My Aufklärer here, they are in cover, but they are currently being spotted by the enemy. 222s though are going to be able to do a good job, and my Panzer 35 is helping slightly with its main gun. Shooter knocked out of the Tetrarch Little John, and the 222 actually finishes that off. Tetrarchs do only have 800 meter range, and that is in range of the 222 with the 4 AP power 20mm cannons, so they are going to take out the Tetrarchs very quickly. I do lose one of my half tracks over here, and now I'm dealing with the xylophone since we've reached phase B. Now I don't want to be hit too hard by the M10, so I'm trying to move my 222s out of line of sight so that they can still attack the Ranger 30 cal, but not be hit by the M10. So just trying to use the line of sight there to take full advantage of that 30 cal squad. Furthermore, bring in the smoke from this mortar half track to cover that off and allow my 222s to move wherever they want. This also allows me to bring up both of my Pak 38s and get them into decent positions before enemy tanks push through the smoke. Quite simply, just got 259 on this right side, 259 on the left side. Then I'm pushing infantry through these tree lines and holding this town that I've captured across the bridge. And now what I'm going to do is just continuously reinforce this to maintain our territory lead. It would have been nice to have been able to push forwards, but like again, as I was explaining, without my recon squad in this tree line, there was no way I was going to be able to see this AT gun and attack it effectively with my 222 and my 259. Same with the T-30. Without the anti-tank, or without the tanks that were taken out by the AT gun, I wasn't going to kill the T-30, so I needed to move back from that as well. In this case, transmission damage for my Panzer 35 as it gets hit directly by the M10. T-30 is going to be engaging my Panzer Grenadiers, and what I'm going to do is quickly try and smoke this off again to save my infantry. As long as I keep this road smoked, I can pretty much do whatever I want in the town. My Pack 38 is moving over to the right side. Is unfortunately going to miss its first shot and therefore get blown to pieces by the M7. I was trying to get that into the bushes here before engaging the M7, but in this case it didn't manage to before it got spotted, so the AT gun goes down, and here the enemy mortars are going to kill off my recon squad, which was a little bit of a problem since I'm now blind on that front and I don't want my Panzer guns to die either, so I'm just going to jump them a house back before another xylophone strike comes in. This time it's going straight for my other AT gun, which they spotted earlier, and they do get the kill. So this was pretty bad because he's using an M10. I don't have anything really to deal with it. My Panzer 35 is 7 AP and I need at least 8 or 9 really to penetrate the M10 effectively from max range. And even with 9 AP it wouldn't really be enough because it would have been like a 16% penetration chance. I'm a bit screwed against heavy armour at the moment since my AT guns were destroyed. I'm lacking on decent tanks. So I pretty much just got to I've got to play this smart and really try and use my Panzer Grenadiers effectively. Try and stop these pushes. Either way, there is an armoured convoy coming up. One of my teammates has joined me in the centre here, taking full advantage of my position. Another xylophone is going to be coming up, and this time going for my mortar. Not going to be able to get the kill. But I am bringing up a Panzer IV and 2 of these SPW 232s. This is the Panzer IV-G with only 6 armour, however with 3 stars, incredibly accurate. And my teammate's going to be using the Panzer IV-H with an SPW 223. So he's going to be trying to flank his opponent on this left side with this attack, which I thought was really intelligent of him. Obviously he's holding here with this front line, and he's decided to join me in the centre and then push from right to left to try and get behind his opponent. Really, really nice job there. And also, Big Boy bringing in the Ju-87 does actually take out the M10 for me, and this tank takes out one of the xylophones. So really, really awesome job by my teammates coming to join me in the centre to take full advantage of my spearhead. I'm just rolling over to the left with him, going to use my 222s to help his infantry. Also brought my 232 over to help out. And I'm going to leave one 232 with my Panzer IV to provide the veterancy here. Now I could have been using these half tracks probably more effectively to fan out and see where the line could be pushed in. However, at this point I was more worried about infantry coming from the right and actually pushing in, in which case having all the half tracks here would have been more useful. Use the Panzer IV to take out that Ranger mortar, but here comes another xylophone to spoil the day, and that's going to force back some of our tanks here. The M5 gun targets my mortar carrier and takes that out. Over on this left side, the 222s do demolish an infantry squad on the road. And now my teammate's Panzer IV is in trouble in front of this M5 gun. I've brought up a Rheinwerfer. This is basically here to take the place of the mortar carrier that I just lost. I was planning to have it there as well. But what I'm going to do here is use the Rheinwerfer to smoke off, or actually just mortar, the enemy infantry that was in the edge of this forest. Try and do some damage to that. Enemy AT gun does pop one of my 222s. And I am struggling a little bit with supply here. The 222, this one being completely depleted with 20mm ammunition. But what I'm going to do is bring up 2 supply trucks and put them in positions where they can be useful. teammate's Panzer IV managed to get away from the M5 gun, luckily, so that's still alive, and I'm going to use this Reinwerfer now to smoke this area and hopefully allow my teammate to push across with infantry. However, these infantry squads are still very much alive, and he notices that and retreats his infantry back to the tree line. So since I do have another normal mortar barrage reloaded, I'm going to be using that onto the AB Paras here. Definitely going to be very effective in pinning those down. Now an enemy 50 cal has broken its way into the tree line here. That's going to be engaged by my Panzer IV-G. It's going to be attacking my Panzer Grenadiers. Thankfully, because the Panzer IV-G is 3 stars due to this SPW-223 of my ally, we are going to be able to hit this 50 cal very hard. Continuing with the smoke onto this road as well. Just trying to make sure that they can't come down here without being threatened by these buildings, but mortar fire is going to be coming in directly onto my Panzergren squads for now. My teammates' Panzergrens have definitely made a lot of ground, which was good. However, these Pathfinders have been hidden next to the Panzer IV. Just about manages to notice that in time. But needs to be very careful that he doesn't let his Panzer IV get destroyed. Also bringing up my 232 to help out. Because if we get line of sight onto the enemy infantry, then we can do a lot of damage. In this case, Xylophone's going to be coming in again, going straight for my mortar carrier, actually taking out one of my Opel Blitz munition trucks as well. So that was really annoying. Either way, small infantry push coming through here, these rifle leaders pushing onto my Panzergrens. And I still have 2 3-star 222s available, and they're going to be driving up the road to take on the second rifle leader squad after we destroy the first very convincingly. I want to kill that before it can get into the building, because if it does, then it has a chance of getting its bazooka on line of sight. In this case, my 232 is going to go down. That was very unfortunate. The M5 gun there hitting my 232 directly. Just about misses a second shot onto the Panzer IV. Rifles leader does actually hit my 222 with a bazooka shot in the end. And, well, wasn't the most effective clear out of that infantry, but certainly worked in the end. I just need these Panzer Grenadiers to stop being pinned down so I can continue to move them forwards. And what I'm going to do now is try and bring up some more reinforcing infantry. So I'm continuing to hold this area. Over on this right side, a couple of Tetrarchs get taken out near this bridge. Also brought up some new Panzergrens to cover this off. But again, we're still maintaining the +2, and this is a 3,000 point conquest game, so still plenty of chance for them to come back, but they've got to make a difference now. Otherwise, it's only going to get harder. 223 here, going to get taken out by the Piat squad. Do just about manage to get a second shot onto that, but the Piat squad disappears. Got my Reinwerfer in the open on the left here. Going to try and mortar the Piat just to get rid of it. Enemy bomber going to be coming in the form of the P-38 Lightning. That takes out my mortar carrier, and now my 222 is in line of sight of an M10. Don't want that to happen for too long, so trying to retreat that behind the buildings, get that out of line of sight. Got a second Panzer IV-G on the way. And what I'm going to do here, this Reinwerfer is just going to provide me with a smoke wall so that I can get my units into safe positions. The Typhoon AT, however, has something to say about that Reinwerfer and certainly destroys it. It's now just the 232 of my ally left on the left side. His push eventually amounted to nothing, unfortunately, and he is continuously being attacked on the left side now. But I still have control in the centre, so that's perfectly fine. As long as I control this town, it's fine. Enemy artillery going to be coming in. Off-map artillery going to be hitting me pretty damn hard now. I don't actually have too much infantry here currently, and my infantry is going to be just in time to reinforce after the artillery. So it actually worked out pretty well that they hit me when they did, because as soon as the artillery stops and they try and push in, my reinforcements are going to arrive and I should be fine. And meanwhile over here, a couple more infantry squads brought up to join this Panzer Grenadier in his push across the river. Just trying to maintain this presence in the town at the moment. As long as I do, the enemy has no chance of winning. So my Panzer 4G here is going to be engaging an enemy command Tetrarch. One shot, one kill, thanks to the 3-star veterancy. Well, here comes the xylophone again. Actually goes for the kill onto my artillery again, forcing my Opel Blitz munition to fall back, and does actually kill off my Aufklärer. I take out the xylophone since he left it in line of sight briefly. I'm trying to take full advantage of that. This M5 gun though going to spoil the fun against the Cromwell 5. Just trying to get the Panzer 4G into line of sight, but this Cromwell with one shot takes that out. 11 AP power will take out 6 armour pretty easily, so there is that. Off-map artillery coming in again on my position, leaving massive craters. Teammates Panzer 4 finally takes out the Cromwell. Now I've brought up some Flak 88s. These are to start to help with the enemy air presence. Brought up both of those just to help defend the town more effectively. But look at all of these craters. More artillery coming in again. Got more infantry on its way though, just to help me defend. Flak 88s are going to stop this lightning from bombing me, so that was good. Just in time. On the right side, finally advancing with this infantry in the half tracks. Also brought up a 259 to help out. 6-pounder actually takes out Jagdpanther on the right side of big boys. Moving through with a Panzer Grenadier squad onto this tree line. That's going to be finding a lot of infantry. But the Flak 88 here actually on target. Going to use the Panzer Grenadiers to take out the Pathfinders with their MG42. And then they're going to be moving on to the next squad, the Airborne Paras. And again, as soon as the MG42 gets on target, the AB Paras go down. The AB Paras not in range actually to use their Sten gun, otherwise that might have been a different story. 88's going to finish off the AB Paras there, and then we've got some air landing coming up behind me. Panzer Grenadiers able to get their MG42 on to target again, and this Panzer Grenadier literally demolished those 3 squads. They were all depleted already, but definitely helped push out the front line towards the end of the game, when after 27 minutes and 40 seconds we win. And that is 3,000 points gained in 27 minutes. We held +2 for the majority of the game, so really well done to my team, especially my teammate on my left, who actually managed to push through in the end and really tried out that really nice flanking attack, but it was pretty well defended by the 6th Airborne player. In the centre, when I just smashed through into the 2nd Infantry guy, not much he could do. after I'd already taken that position, other than try and use those xylophones to dislodge my position, but it just didn't work out. And although he had destroyed a lot of my important units, like all my supporting artillery and so on, in the end it didn't really matter if he didn't take back the ground. So that's how it ended up. And if we jump to the team's perspective, you can see that my kill death isn't actually like super amazing. It's 1,248 kills to 1,170 losses, so pretty close kill death there. No like crazy 2-to-1 kill death ratio, but it's just taking the ground so early on and just holding it for as long as I could really helped our team win out in this case. And everybody on both teams got plenty of kills, and basically like 2 of our opposing players got positive kill death ratios, for example. But when you just don't hold the ground and don't take the strategic positions on the map, it doesn't matter. So if we jump to my kills, you can see the 222s, they went to work on the Tetrarch Little John there, the 2nd Infantry. And basically what ended up happening was I was playing against the 6th Airborne player on the left and the 2nd Infantry in the centre. And I destroyed a lot of the 2nd Infantry stuff pretty early on with my 3 tank push into that position. And they hadn't really invested in enough AT. I think there was like 1 6-pounder that I actually had to deal with my initial push. And if it had been like 2 or 3, then I'm pretty sure I would have lost all of my tanks. But I was pretty lucky not to lose one against the Ranger Marauders. And then my luck ran out once I bumped into one of the AT guns. But either way, that is the game, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing like a big old push into the center of the map and actually taking some ground. It was very hard to hold and did lose a lot in the process. Not the most perfect game, but still held the ground and won us the game. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.